Jack Allen, Backstage at Sent, and I have questions for you because you're the church planning king.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you
No,
are.
Stop.
Okay, yeah, it's true. Favorite professor ever at New Orleans. So, I know, it's amazing. Okay, where will church planning be in 10 years? Share with me your thoughts.
That's, of course, ridiculous and impossible.
I know, but you are such a brilliant man.
We could think about trends of where
Okay.
things are going.
Okay.
It's fairly obvious that we've got we're riding kind of a 30 or 40 year wave of pushing toward more and more better training models. I think that, at least let's confine it a little bit more to Southern Baptists or evangelicals. I think the idea of starting churches in North America has continued to increase. The water levels come way, way up from where it was 30 years ago, certainly. If I had to guess, I would say that probably in another decade, given economic realities, we will probably see, well, let's do it this way. Let's just declare it in the name of Jesus.
Okay.
No, let's just think about it this way. What we hope to see is we hope to see more churches started by people who did not have to go to seminary to get a degree first.
Mm-hmm.
I really hesitate to use the word laity. I don't think it should even be in our vocabulary because I don't see a biblical distinction between clergy and laity.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I see the opposite, a knocking down of that class structure. So I hesitate to say that, but I can say that I think that probably a decade from now we'll have a lot more people who are seminary trained who will be trainers and equippers of people in their churches who are starting churches. That's what I really, really hope that we do. I think there will be a lot less very large. The idea of raising $250,000 to $300,000. So that's 10 years from now, that may be $400,000 or $500,000, depending on what the dollar's worth. By that time, it may be $800,000. So the idea of having to raise $400,000 or $500,000 to plant a church, I think there'll probably be less of that. And there'll be a lot more of the type of churches that start in homes, more of an organic model, and then develop over time. I've got a sense that the other thing that'll happen in the next decade is unless, and I'm going to speak specifically about Southern Baptists, unless Southern Baptists figure out how to engage people for the gospel and how to help them find Christ, then a large number of our churches are going to die, and a lot of our associations and our association directors of missions are going to be in the real estate business, and they're going to be planting new churches in those buildings. And I think that's probably something that we will see in the next decade is a lot of new churches starting in old church buildings that have been, hopefully again, we'll close them and let them be dead for a year and then reopen them to the glory of God.
Yeah.
What I really hope is that as churches die, that they don't sell off the property to try to somehow maintain something, but that they actually do cede it over to the next generation and let some new things happen.
That's good. I know you and I have talked a lot about the next generation of leadership and a little bit of mentoring. I know that's something that's real heavy on your heart, is working with some of these new church planners and guys coming up and exploring some new ways, not a cookie cutter
Right.
Church planning model or even a cookie cutter church planter. So tell me a little bit about that and your kind of ideas and passions on that.
Well, earlier tonight, someone commented something, made a flippant comment about that I'm emergent.
Yeah.
And I laughed, and of course, that's really nothing could be farther from the truth. I don't really want to have a particular model that I favor. What I favor is people.
Yeah.
And if we'll go into an area and learn and listen to the people, they'll tell us how to reach them, with the gospel and how they want to meet and how they want to gather. And some of those gatherings may look like what we call emergent churches or emerging churches, and some of them may look like house churches, and some of them may look like house church networks, and some of them may look like legacy churches. And my guess is a lot of them will look like Saddleback, and a lot of them will look like First Baptist. And we may actually be surprised how many look like a First Baptist church. There are a lot of people who are getting older and are lost, and they may actually prefer more of a, let's all go at one time, let's do a Sunday school thing, let's make our friends here, and let's do it in a building. That's fine. What difference? Why do I care?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
What I care is, are they coming to Christ, and are they walking with Christ, and are they being equipped? Are we making disciples? Are we giving status to people who make disciples? And if we're going to continue to walk away from that, we're walking away from Christ. If we give status to people who don't make disciples, we're going to get more of that.